Hey there, folks. I'm Charlotte, the Gulf Coast Granny. And tonight I'm going to be working on a robot plushie. Look at him. I've got some of him done so far. There he is. He's got a control panel down here and some kind of screen here. And over here are going to be two little knobs for, twisty knobs. And then he's going to have legs and arms and two antennae. So tonight, what I need to do is make the arms and legs at the very least. And what I'll be doing is reading the pattern off of my computer because I've never made one of these before. And I'm very excited about it because my little 4-year-old grandson is absolutely obsessed with robots. And he made one for school about 2 weeks ago. And he had to sleep with it that night. Hi, Jackie. Thank you for coming in. Hi, seventh son. Anyhow, my grandson made this robot and he had to take it to school for a project. They never gave it back to him and he was devastated. Every day for like 2 or 3 days, he would go tell his mama to stop the car and go inside and get the robot after school when she picked him up. So I decided that if he couldn't have his robot, Granny was going to make him one. Now, it's not the prettiest robot in the world because I've used just whatever yarn scraps that I have. Oh, thank you, Terry. Hi, how are you? You're alone? Where's Nicole? Is she recovering or something from her surgery? Anyhow, this is my first big plushie I've ever made. He's a little uneven over here, and I can't figure out if it's because I miscounted or if it's because the way you have to crochet in the round, it's just off-centered because, let me look at my rows here. That's the row that goes down, and it goes straight into that one. See? If I follow it up with my finger, it goes right, but it's off-centered a little bit. And my OCD won't let me deal with that very well. But you know what? I've decided to just go with it and see how it looks when it's finished. And if I have to, I can put like a little embroidered border around this thing. This control panel here, or the window here. Gosh darn it, my fingers are all crooked. And bring it out here on the edge a little bit so that it looks like it evens up. So I hope he does, Jackie. I really hope he loves it. And it's not for Christmas or anything. It's just because he needs it, I guess that's what grannies do. But I'm going to have to be reading it off the pattern. I hope that doesn't annoy y'all too much. Because I might have to take some pauses, to be able to read it and kind of process it. I'm usually pretty quick at processing, but then sometimes if I go too fast, I get all discombobulated and confused. But that's okay. You know what? Every time I go live, my dog has to go outside to tinkle. Hang on one second. Come on. Good girl. Every single time. I don't get it. But anyhow, before I start on that, I want to show y'all some yarn that I picked up at Michael's. I guess it was Saturday afternoon. I went over to Hobby Lobby because I knew they weren't going to be open on Sunday. And I needed a particular yarn. And I showed y'all the yarn that I got from Hobby Lobby on Saturday night. But it's not a crocheting specific live stream. And if y'all want me to show it again one of these days soon, just let me know and I'll do that. It was a lot of yarn from Michael's. I should be ashamed of myself. But I also found out that Michael's was having a buy two, get one free sale. And at Michael's, my husband's a disabled veteran. And so Michael's gives military discount. So I got an extra 10% off the complete balance honestly, I don't have a clue how much it was. If I had to guess, I'd say somewhere around $50. But hey, God's Desire, how are you doing? Thanks for coming in tonight. But here's some of the yarn that I want to show y'all. And I'll tell you what I bought it for. This, of course, y'all, I'm getting real addicted to making these things. And it's weird because, look, I'm like a really practical person. And I don't like to make things that don't really have a purpose. And every time I would see people making these stuffed animals on YouTube or, on Instagram or whatever, I would think to myself, well, now who needs something ridiculous like that? Well, then I got to watching them more and more and more. And I thought, well, they're cute as a button, and wow, that looks not too hard to do. And hey, Mona, how are you? Hey, DJ. Anyhow, so I wanted to show y'all what I got because I'm probably going to be making some more. I found this pattern for a cat. And in fact, I was telling Jackie about it the last time she had a live, maybe the last time. Anyhow, she showed me her collection of cats. And I thought, oh gosh, they're gorgeous. And they're just silly little toys, y'all. They're just silly little toys, but they're adorable. It is something for little ones to love and cuddle. It is. And see, that's where I'm, you know what? You just took the words right out of my mouth, seventh son, because that is a good use. That is a good use of my time, is to make little babies happy, right? And so anyhow, I got this one, and it is a white with black flecks in it. Now, Jackie, I know it's loops and threads. And I kind of regret that because I've heard that this sheds a lot. But I couldn't resist the color. I really liked it, and I thought it would make a cute cat, right? So not only did I get that one, but I don't know why I bought this. It is Loops and Threads chenille. Now, this is a thinner chenille, too. It's like a number 4. It's their skinny chenille. But this has red, blue, and yellow flecks in it. And I know you can see the red and blue. The yellow is kind of obscure right there. But anyhow, that's that one. And then I got one more. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. If y'all have any ideas, just let me know. But this is a super pale pink with a little lavender and yellow flecks in it. And I thought it was so pretty. And I'll tell you one thing I did think about doing with this one. My new grandbaby that's coming in December. We don't know if it's a boy or girl yet. But if it's a girl, I'm going to take this yarn with me and crochet her a winter hat to wear home from the hospital or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe just make her a winter hat because, it doesn't have to be to wear home from the hospital. It can be just to keep her little head warm. Now, she lives in Florida, and I'm saying she because I really want it to be a girl, this one, because that's what my son wants. But if it's a boy, I'll be tickled to death, and I will. But he wants it to be a girl, so I've been saying she for the past couple of weeks for good luck. Hey, Tina. Yes, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me, please, guys. So that's all the plushie yarn chenille that I got, okay? Now, let me stick that back here. Now, here comes the good stuff. Because I do need to I've been making gender neutral and mostly boy colored blankets for the new baby. Not anymore. I love purple. So this little baby's going to get a purple, girly, frilly, ruffly blanket. And I can't decide if I'm going to use this really muted, soft purple. And it is Loops and Threads brushed rainbow yarn. Y'all, The stuff is so stinking soft, you would not believe it. I mean, it's like microfiber. I love it. And I know it would be so cozy up next to a baby's skin, but it's also a lightweight yarn, so it wouldn't be too overly hot. This, see that? It's a number 4 weight, but it's a little on the lighter side in my opinion. So there's that. Now, I got 3 balls of this because there is, hang on one second, 364 yards in each ball. And I think I can get a blanket out of that. Especially like, like maybe a 30 by 30, maybe 32. And then, y'all, I'm so tickled with this yarn. It's the same color, but it has little poof balls in it. I don't know what you call those, but they're little balls. Pom-poms, miniature pom-poms. I don't know. I got 5. Yeah, I got 5 of these. Look how shiny it is. I love that. Now this is what kind of yarn is this? Okay, it's called Loops and Threads Acrylic Blend Flex. That's its trademark name, Flex. And there's 355 yards in this, so this will make a bigger blanket. Hi, Stephen. How are you tonight? And it is 79% acrylic and 21% polyester. And I believe, of course, that polyester gives it that pretty shine. I mean, it almost looks like a lavender metallic. And I think it's just the most wonderful squishy yarn. I love it. So more than likely, I'm going to go with this one. Because I can't make 2 of the same color blankets, right? But I think I want this one finished before the baby gets here. If I decide to make a blanket out of the other yarn, then what I will probably do is just make it and send it later. Hey, Jane Doe, how are you, my dear? It's so nice to see everybody in here. I didn't know if I would get too many viewers on a Monday night, because sometimes it just don't work that way. YouTube has a mind of its own. I forgot to do something here. I always forget to do this, y'all. I'll create a live stream and then completely forget to monetize it. Absolutely forget. So I'm going to go hit that button that says on. And y'all might get an ad about every 30 minutes, but I don't have it set for too much. If you do, just if you want to click out of it, click out of it, But I still figure, well, if I could make a few pennies at a time on this thing, I might as well, right? Hey, anyhow, let me get started on. Now, look, I've been using, thank you, Mona. I've been using this, fiddlesticks. Y'all getting old ain't for sissies. A 5mm hook, okay? And for anybody who goes by the letter, that's a H. And anybody who goes by the number, why is it 5mm and size 8? I don't know. But that's what it's always been, H8 5mm. These are my favorite hooks. I know they're very plain and they're not fancy. They're not ergonomic, but this is what I've used ever since I was 18 years old, and I don't intend to stop now. These are Susan Bates hooks, and I love them. Okay. Hey, Lisa, how are you tonight? Thanks for coming in. It is a pretty blue, isn't it? And all their hooks are color-coded. And I love that about them, too. Because, when you're digging through a bag trying to find a hook, and you see that color, you got the right one. I'm going to find my pattern now. And we'll see how this goes. Okay, I don't feel like making the knobs first. How about yeah, I guess I could make the knobs. These knobs are going to be too big. I just know it. I just know it. Yeah, everything's fine. We had a meeting with my son's school today, and it didn't go the way I wanted it to, but it wasn't the worst situation that could have happened either. So, you know, you take your wins where you can get them. Let me turn on my hands. Y'all, I done figured out this whole show my hands thing. Look at that. Can you believe that? Look at that. I didn't know it would do that. What I like to do is have a whole picture and then have my little face down in the other picture. You know, like in the corner down here. Or up here, it doesn't matter. But I don't know how to reverse them. So here we are. And it says to make a magic circle, which is this thing right here. Whoops. So I'm going to do that. And then I put 10 single crochets in the middle. Mona, how was your trip home, dear? 2. So what did y'all think of my yarn? I think I made some good choices on Sunday. And also, I didn't go crazy. And that's what I was really trying to prevent, because I've been saving my money for the past few months. I give myself a little allowance every payday. And I've been saving it all so I could buy yarn. And I didn't want to spend it all. And I didn't. And I have more for a sale like after Christmas or what have you. But I'm finished with buying yarn until at least January. I want to see how much I can use up before January. What did the left eye say to the right eye? Between us, something smell. Ain't that the truth? That stinking old nose. Y'all ain't going to believe this. Look, my ADD is popping off tonight. You hear me? Tonight, I was taking a nap. And Poppy, let's see, I got to count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Poppy was sitting in the kitchen. The dog was sitting right next to him. And he started hearing this commotion out in the chicken coop. Yeah. So, oh, this isn't going to work. Oh, my gosh. So, Jackie, what do you do when the chenille won't hold together? I know what you do. You use another yarn. Okay, so instead I'm going to make some arms because I know this will hold together. Anyhow, Poppy starts hearing the commotion out in the chicken coop, and sure, my dog is sitting right here, not warning us, not barking, not doing a thing. He's useless. So Poppy goes out there. There is a possum in my chicken coop. So the chickens were going berserk. The possum was scared and had run up the side of the chicken coop on the inside. Now, mind you, it's hardware cloth, and was hanging up in the corner of the chicken coop. So, but none of the chickens got injured or killed, thank God, because that would have broke my heart. I love my chickens. I go out and have coffee with my chickens every single morning, 3, 4, and we solve all the world's problems by 8 o'clock in the morning, every single day. If you want your hands on the big screen, just drag and drop to switch the pictures. Okay, if I drag and drop to switch the pictures, do I do it on the screen or down at the bottom where the pictures on. Let's see. I guess I can just shut the front door. Thank you, DJ. You're the best. It won't do that the whole time. So I could cut pieces off of it, maybe say a foot and try again. I'll do that. Oh Lord, I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. But anyhow, it was dark when that happened, and he did the best he could to check over the chickens. So tomorrow morning, my son is going to go out there and look over them some more and make sure that nobody's injured. And he went ahead and he put he found where the possum got in at. And it's not through the hardware cloth. My chickens like to try to escape, so they dig around the edges of my coop. Well, when he built that coop, he did a great job, but he didn't do what I told him to and put hardware cloth down in the ground. So now I'm not quite sure how we're going to put a barrier around the very bottom edge so that nothing digs under, because that's what happened. There was a little bit of a hole there, and I guess possums are kind of like rats, and they can get in small spaces, and he climbed right underneath there and started harassing my chickens. And you know he was going to try to eat one, right? I don't know. Do possums eat chickens? I think everything eats chicken, to be honest with you. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't even know how many I'm supposed to do. Let me look and see again. So for the legs, no, I'm going to do arms, because the legs are going to be this blue or green, the same color as his head. But the arms, I want them a bright color. Now it says they're kind of striped on the pattern, but I didn't want to push my luck and work 5. Well, shoot. 1, 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take 1 out. Okay. Gently but firmly pull the tail to tighten the center of the ring. Look at there. I did it. Now I'm just going to increase how many times? 1 round. And then working in the back loop, single crochet in each stitch around. Okay. And how many rounds do I do that? Holy crap, 18 rounds. I might end up making these arms and legs a little shorter than the pattern calls for, but at least I got a good idea of what I'm supposed to do now. Here we go. So basically all we're going to be doing on this piece is going in circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, in the increase row, I have to put 2 stitches in each stitch in the row I just did. 1, 2. 3. Hey, Michelle. You know what, Michelle? I saw that you were doing a live stream. It was either yesterday or the day before. And I tried to go in there. I thought I was running late. And I think you might have forgot about your live stream. You know, it happens. I'm not judging, because I've done the same stinking thing before. But I was wondering, you know, I'm a worrywart anyway. And do you know the first thing that popped into my head? First thing that popped into my head was, oh, I hope nothing terrible happened. Come on, Charlotte. Really? But you know, when you're a mom, I think you get conditioned to think that way, especially when you get them 2 o'clock in the morning telephone calls from teenagers who aren't home in the bed where they belong. Shoot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But no, I kept checking back on your live notification like 3 or 4 times over about an hour, and it just never showed up that you were live. So I quit. I'm sorry. Okay. Is that 10? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it is. It's 10. So now let's start in the back loops. I'll be darned. 1. You know what'll help me a whole bunch? That one had the wrong time and not sure how to delete them. Oh, no, that's okay. So I didn't know how to find you, Michelle. I'm sorry. But I'll next time, hopefully that won't happen again and I won't miss another one. Okay. Anyhow, I'm really happy that none of my chickens were injured. And I'm really sad about my son and his little fiasco, and I can't go into what everything happened. I just can't. It's kind of I don't want to embarrass him in public because he would be embarrassed and I wouldn't do that to him, but just suffice it to say, he got in trouble at school. He got suspended, and now he's going to have to go to the alternative school for 45 days. And that's not the outcome that we wanted, because we really don't believe that what he did was in a super egregious offense, if you know what I mean. Was it dumb? Yeah. Was it a typical teenage thing to do? Again, yes. But my son is not a frequent flyer in the principal's office. He's a pretty good kid. In fact, this by the beginning of next year, he'll be an Eagle Scout in the Boy Scouts. He has only been to the principal one other time in his whole school career. And I just really believe that they how do I word this? Because I want to be very careful. I believe that for this particular offense that they think has been a problem at their school for a while now, they're using all of these kids who get caught as examples to warn the other kids, hey, you better keep your nose clean. Does that make sense? And my son just happened to get caught up in a crowd of kids that peer pressured him into doing something he would not normally do. So he's a victim of his own bad choice now, and he's had plenty of consequences at home for that choice. He has had, consequences at school. And I have always tried to be look what I just did. I forgot to put my I forgot to put my stitch marker in when I changed rounds that last time. So we're just going to crochet in a circle until we get it done. But yeah, I've always tried to be fair, and I've always felt like, even as a parent, when you're disciplining your children, the punishment should fit the crime. And punishment or consequences, as they like to say now, needs to be swift, immediate, and effective. And I don't believe in knocking my children around or, hitting them. I don't do that. But I do have the cleanest baseboards this side of Texas right now. And my kitchen's clean and my bathroom's clean, and so I put him to work. I was very proud of him today, and I'll tell you why. he was given the opportunity to speak at this meeting. And one of the people on the committee making these decisions asked him what happened. And he pulled out a paper that he wrote. And he got halfway through it, and I started crying. And not because I was upset, but because I was so proud of the way that he advocated for himself and the way he took responsibility for what he did and the way he told them exactly what he wanted from them and what he thought he deserved as a consequence. And I just thought it was really a remarkable thing for I was going to say 16-year-old boy, but he won't be 16 until Friday. Friday's his birthday, and he'll be 16. So, I was just very, very proud of him. So when it all was over with and we found out what the results were, I told him, I said, look, what you need to understand is this is not the end of the world. You go over there, you keep your mouth shut, you do your work, and you get this over with. And you have the opportunity to redeem yourself. You have the opportunity to change the friend group that you're with. And everything's going to be all right, We'll see how it goes. But we are disappointed. Man, I'm telling you what. Having kids ain't for sissies either. I see everybody talking with each other. I must be boring y'all to tears. No, Terry, he will be able to play drums, but not until after this 45-day period is over. And none of the school holidays count. And if he's sick or has to go to the doctor, that don't count either. They'll have to add days onto the end of it. It's kind of like going to federal prison. There's no good time, So, as it stands right now, with no absences, no doctor appointments, no nothing, he will be able to go back to the high school on March the 11th or 12th. And, but I know they're going to add more days to it because he has a doctor appointment on the 4th, which is Wednesday. He has another one on the 12th. He has another one on the 18th. And then there will be about 2 doctor appointments a month for the duration, for at least the near future. So he'll probably have a good week to 10 days added to that. Unless, and see, now that's not accounting for any of the migraines he might get. But I told him, I said, if you get a migraine at school, I'm going to make sure you have medication in the nurse's office at this new facility. I said, I'm going to make sure your medication's in the nurse's office. I said, and you refuse to leave school. You take your medicine, you find a place to lay down, and you stay there. I said, because any days you miss, you have to make up. And you tell them, unless this is an excused day that I don't have to make up, I'm staying here till y'all wake me up when the bus comes. And if they call me, I'm going to tell them the same thing. So there's that. What is a room with no walls? A mushroom. you know, that's another little plushy idea that these people are making. They make little mushrooms that they pop. I'm not sure exactly how it works. You know what? Well, I screwed this one up, y'all, but that's okay. I don't even care. What I was supposed to do is go in the back loops only for that that third row, and I've been going back loops only steady through the whole length of this thing. Okay. It's not hurt my feelings none. It's just going to be an arm. and I hope it looks like one when I'm finished. Look, patterns are just a guideline, right? Yeah, patterns are guidelines. And I'm notorious for changing it around to suit me. Yeah, Pop It Mush, that's the name of it. Yeah, they're fun to make, and they look like they are, and they look like they're pretty quick, Jackie. And I know you've probably made dozens of them. My daughter, who's 19, she's going to college, and she's studying environmental science. And right now, she's very much into her biology classes and microbiology and all that stuff. Tomorrow, in fact, she's going to be dissecting a big old toad or frog. I don't know if it's frog or toad, but you get the point. One of them big swamp toads. She's very excited about it. Very. She said she was going to choose a baby piglet, but she said, Mom, every time I see them and the umbilical cord is still attached, she said, I still do the dissection, but I cry through the whole thing. But anyhow, I think that one of her hobbies is called, this is so silly that I know this. That's what's silly. Her hobby's not silly at all. That I know what it is silly. It's called mycology. And it is the study of mushrooms. And during COVID, she met a friend over in Norway on her Discord. And, school was out. Nobody was doing anything, right? Dwayne, this is chenille yarn. And it's a really big, thick, heavy chenille yarn. Yeah, study of mushrooms. Well, during that period, she taught herself to speak Norwegian, and she basically learned everything in the world that she could about these mushrooms in all different, where they grow in different parts of the world, everything about them. She knows. In fact, let's tell you a funny story. Y'all know I have the garden out there, and one morning I looked out my window here because I do that every morning. I'll look out the window and check on the garden, see how it's doing just from a distance, and I like to look out there and watch the birds and all the little critters. Well, there were these red things coming up out of the ground in my garden, and they looked evil, like fingers like this. See, let me show you my hand. Like this. And it reminded me of alien fingers, right? And they were ugly as homemade sin. And I had no clue what it was. And I thought it was something like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So it was like 7 a.m. I run in her bedroom. I said, Violet, you got to get up. You got to tell me what this is. I want you to come look at what's in my garden, I said, it's kind of got me a little bit scared. Because I didn't know if it kind of looked to me like a mushroom, but I wasn't sure. Or a fungus of some sort. And she went out there. She looked at it for a minute. She goes, Mama, that's called a devil's finger mushroom. She said, they stink to high heaven. They smell like a corpse. She said, it's a stinkhorn. It's in the stinkhorn family. And the reason it's in here is because you have rotting wood in your garden bed. I said, well, yeah, you're right. I do. Let me tell you, I think she was in what grade was she in? 10th grade. She was in 10th grade. And she knew all of that. I got some little mushrooms in one of my, what do you call them? Grow bags. Well, here's the thing. It didn't look like mushrooms at first. So I'm looking at my sweet potatoes one afternoon. It was hot as Hades outside too. And we had been getting rain after rain. It was during hurricane season. I think we had had a hurricane threat or 4. And I'm going out there checking on my sweet potatoes that I was growing in a 100-gallon grow bag. Well, there were these little black seeds all over the leaves of the sweet potatoes. And I thought it was some kind of bug infestation. So I came in the house because they were tiny little black seeds. And I come in the house and I got my magnifying glass. They looked like fleas. That's what it looked like, fleas. But they weren't moving. Come in here, got the magnifying glass, and I went back out there. And sure enough, they were like little seeds, like little dark sesame seeds. Well, I got to looking around a little more, and I spread all these leaves apart, and I'm looking. Well, on the surface of the soil, there were these little circles that looked like baskets, and they had those little black seeds in them. And I thought, good Lord, what the devil is that? So I got her attention that time too, and I asked her to come out and tell me what it was. It's called a bird nest mushroom. And I don't remember what it likes to eat or decompose or whatever, but those little seeds are its way of, reproducing. And what happens is it starts off closed up. And when it opens, it ejects those seeds all around and they land on things. I thought it was pretty fascinating. So because of her hobby with the mushrooms, I've learned a lot about my garden and the things growing in it. And also where I was going with that story was maybe I should make her some of those mushroom pops. That was a long way to get around to the point, wasn't it? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to put him the right direction here. He's not in the right direction. He has to be this way. Okay. So, does that look like that arm's about long enough? It goes down. Woo, it's got monkey arms, but yeah, I think that's going to work. Because his legs are going to be down here. Yep. 15 rows is plenty. Now, Lord knows, I don't know where the world I should finish this off yet, but it's going to get finished off right there. I should have left a longer tail to sew that on. Oh well, I'll figure it out. So let's do another one. I'm snacking on Sour Patch Kids. Oh, Terry, I'm sorry. I did not ignore your comment up there. You said there were complications with her surgery. I did see that. And I wanted to know, do they think she's going to be there a while? And are they going to be able to fix what happened? 1, 2, 3. Oops. Shoot. So, are y'all done Christmas shopping? Because I am not. Okay. I have not even started, and I'm ashamed of myself because normally I'm finished by now. But it's just not been a good month for me. I've had a lot of things I've had to worry with other than, Christmas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have to get busy this week and get that done. Tonight and possibly tomorrow night. Okay. Well, tell her that I'm thinking about her, and I hope she gets out of there real soon and gets to recovering. Please. Bless her heart. That ain't no fun. Having surgery and then have something else happen on top of it to make it worse, That sucks. 2. The malls are... Oh, Dwayne, I don't leave my house to Christmas shop. Not unless there's some kind of apocalyptic event that makes me. I will not go to a mall. I promise you that. Now, I'll go shopping once in a while to a regular store like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. But if I do go shopping to a store like Walmart or Target or, I don't know, Best Buy, any of those, I go during the week and I go early in the morning. I call my daughter up because y'all know I can't drive. And I'll call my daughter up and tell her, hey, I'll buy you lunch if you take me to the Target. And usually she will. If she can't do it that day, she'll do it one day soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alrighty then. Now, back loops only. And I guess I'm going to have to do this one the same way I did the other one in the back loops only because I don't want them to look silly or different. Y'all, do y'all know what a challenge it is to crochet on a live stream? And when I make a mistake, not use all that foul language that I'm used to using during the day at home. And honestly, y'all might get a little more entertained with that, but I'm a granny. I shouldn't be doing that in public, so I don't. Thank you very much, Dwayne. It's for my grandson, and I'm trying to use bright and happy colors, or his favorite colors are blue and green, so I had to add some blue and green to him, And of course, it's a robot, so he had to have something that looked like metal on him, like gray and kind of a funny, weird... I don't know what color this is. It's oyster. It's kind of an oyster color, okay? But yeah, and I love his little eyeballs on top. If I would have had colored eyeballs, I do have some colored ones, but they're tiny, and I thought he needed bigger ones, so you could see them. But I would have used colored ones on him. But I think the black looks fine. I mean, robots, it's a robot. And I'm hoping to go for the look of a robot somebody made in their garage with spare parts. Yellow reminds you of corn or sunshine. You're so sweet, Dwayne. Thank you. I like this yellow. I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woohoo! Alrighty then. I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to measure it up against the other one that I made when I think I've got enough rows. Okay. 2. Now this part's going to go fast. The first rows are always tricky when you're making circles like this because they're small and they're fiddly and they're not the most fun to start. But then once you get to trucking along, it's all right. Thank you, Jane Doe. Thank you. But I did. I wanted him to look like a garage robot. You know, do y'all remember a show called The Iron Giant? It was a cartoon probably 25, 30 years ago. And it was about this old beatnik guy who found this kid in a giant, alien giant, crashed into the sky, into this beatnik's junkyard. And the kid found, if y'all hadn't seen it, it's a precious little cartoon. And my two sons, who are 28 and 29, used to absolutely love that cartoon. And I wanted this robot to kind of embody the Iron Giant. But yeah, I don't know where you would find it. Maybe on Netflix, maybe on Amazon, maybe even on YouTube. But if you haven't seen it, it's really a cute movie. And it was relatable to me. I don't know why. Well, the Iron Giant ended up exploding him. Never mind. I'm not going to tell you. I don't need to spoiler it if you're going to look at it. But anyhow, he made a huge sacrifice to save the world. What do you call a Star Wars droid that takes the long way around? R2-D2. That's a great one. That's a great one. You know, we're Star Wars geeks in this family. Especially my husband and my daughter. Do you know, this is funny, y'all. My husband's ringtone on his phone that lets him know I'm calling him is the Imperial March. My children have called me the Sith Lord since they were big enough to talk. And my husband's ringtone for my oldest daughter is the one where I think it was Boba Fett says, "It's a trap." So, and I forget what the other ones are, but those two to me are very funny. One time he was at work and his boss heard that Imperial March go off on his phone, and he picked up his phone. He says, "Oh, it's the wife." And the boss says, "Did your wife know that that's what song is her ringtone?" He says, "Yeah, she does. She lives up to it too." Which is not true. I mean, it might be true. I don't know. I'm a little bit on the demanding side. Let's just put it that way. I have high expectations and high standards of behavior for my family, my husband, my children. However, I will say that I don't expect anything from them that I would not do myself. What did Yoda say when he saw himself in 4K? HDMI. Oh my goodness. That's funny. That is one of my Yoda actually has one of my favorite Star Wars quotes of all time. There is no try, only do. Do or do not. There is no try. That's what it is. Do or do not. There is no try. And those, my dears, are sage words to live by. From a 1976 movie that I saw in the theaters when it came out. Did y'all know, speaking of other things that I've seen, my kids couldn't believe that I saw the first Star Wars movie in the movie theater. They were very intrigued with that story. But I'll tell you who else I saw. And I think Dwayne knows this one. When I was 12 years old, my parents took me to see Elvis. And I'm probably one of the few people in my generation that that saw Elvis live in concert. Tina, you got to see that movie in the theater too, or did you see Elvis too? Y'all, I was infatuated with Elvis. I thought he was the most handsome human being in the whole wide world when I was 11 years old, 12 years old. And I was going to kick Priscilla out of Graceland and marry him one day when I grew up. I had a scheme to steal her husband. Now tell me I wasn't a crooked little I was a crooked little girl. Oh my gosh. Okay, we got 10 folks in here. Thank you. You're a fan of Elvis and all the Sun record artists. Well, I don't know if I'm a fan of all of them, but I sure love me some Elvis. I still love him. And I love Tom Jones. But thankfully, he's still around. But you know, I was raised by my grandmother. Not completely. I lived with my parents, my dad and my stepmother. But I spent every weekend of my life with my grandma, and she was a really fun lady. She had a stereo in her living room, and she had a stack of records taller than I was. And they went back. I wish I had those records today. She had Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, and she had Sammy Davis Jr., and she had Glenn Miller Band, and all these albums that Patti Page and Connie Francis, and just a bunch of different artists. And it's funny to me that her musical taste was so varied. But then again, varied, yes, because the collection was decades old, you know. So I guess it's not that interesting that it was so varied. But shoot. But I would go over to her house on the weekends, me and my brother, and she would sit there and play all those old albums on that stereo. And then when we were finished, we had to be done by a certain time because she had to watch Hawaii Five-0. Glenn Miller Band is from here in the town. No kidding. That's interesting. Very interesting. Is actually a distant cousin. You know what? My grandma would get the biggest kick out of that if she knew I knew somebody who was a cousin to Glenn Miller. She'd get a huge kick out of that. But she was something else. She spoiled me so bad, y'all. 10-year-old me, while in Vegas, I believe at the Tropicana, was given a $100 chip by Elvis riding in the elevator. Oh my goodness. Now that is a story. That is a story right there. That's amazing. You know, isn't it a shame we didn't have phones back then? We could have taken all these videos and showed people 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 3 more rows to go, y'all. Now look, I don't know how I'm going to put these on. I was told by my mama, a souvenir. Yeah. So she thought it was fake. You know, Elvis was known for doing things like that. just, being generous and buying people things that they needed, whether he knew them or not. And the people he did know, he spoiled like my grandma spoiled me. Only my grandma wasn't loaded like he was, Oh, he told you to buy your mama a souvenir. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. And he said it like this, huh? Buy your mama a souvenir, boy. Oh my goodness. I thought that you meant you showed it to your mama and she thought it was a souvenir from Elvis. But that makes better sense. It would have been cool to see the $1 million. I don't know who that is, Dwayne. You know all these bands and musical groups that I've never heard of. Now I didn't know them, but now I do like quartet music. I really do, and I might have even heard them before, just didn't know their name. Who's the $1 Million Quartet? Was that their name, or is that a moniker given to a well-known group of singers that sounded like the Statler Brothers or the Anderson sisters? They were quartet. Well, I think there was only 3 of them, Anderson sisters. But you know what I mean. Glenn Miller is my grandma's 3rd cousin. Isn't that something, Terry? They always say that, we're 6 degrees away from something. Now, I promise you, I don't think anybody in my family is famous. I don't think I'm related to any presidents. Nothing like that. Perkins. Elvis, Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash, and Jerry Lee Lewis. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'd love to see. Did they record an album, Dwayne? That's quite the lineup there, isn't it? Jerry Lee Lewis was something else. The energy that man had is kind of scary, in my opinion. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, maybe 17. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn him around. Look, this one's got a little bit of a handicapped fingers. If you can see. Well, shoot. This one looks different than this one. But that's okay, right? I'll tell my grandson that he's shooting a bird or something. You know I won't do that. Okay, I think that's going to work. That's going to work. I'm just going to finish this row up for a second. Put another couple of stitches in it. And tie it off. And this one I'm going to leave a longer tail on. Because I sure hope those are the same size. Well, they are, except for that little handicap finger there. Can't shoot. I wasn't trying to put fingers on it, but it is what it is. Yeah. I'm not going to bother with it because if I do, I'm going to make myself crazy. So I'll just sew them on whenever it's time and be done with that. The main things I want to get done today are the arms and the legs. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I'm going to have to take a second here and read the directions for the legs. Nope. Blah, 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 blah. This is called a magic circle, y'all. You just wrap it around. Grab your yarn like, so you go under. So you go under that loop. And then grab your yarn, pull it up like this, make a stitch, and it locks that circle into place. Maybe put a thumb making a pincher, or, ooh, that's a good idea. Or like make it look kind of like a wrench, you know, like a pipe wrench. It would be cool to see Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash. Oh, heck yeah. But, you know, the only time we're going to get to see that, Dwayne, is if we end up in the same place they are one day. You never know, do you? 3, 4. Oh, let me get my directions ready. I'll talk to y'all. I'm just not reading the chat right now, okay? I'm reading my directions. Okay, where's them legs? Make 8. So, oh, this is harder to count because this yarn here is considered a chenille, but it's more like terry cloth to work with because it's got little knobbies on it. And it's a lot harder to see the stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to feel them. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And now we're going to pull it tight. Now don't pull too tight if you ever work with this, because this kind of yarn likes to break. Because this yarn is on an itty bitty little string in the middle there. And then this fluff is attached to it. I'm trying to think of something that is similar. But you've got your fluff and they sew one little string right through the middle of it to hold it all together. So if you pull too hard, you can separate it or break your string. 2 around, okay, in each stitch. Let's do that. You know what? I think I need another stitch because that one doesn't act like it wants to cooperate. Okay, so now 2 in each stitch, then 3 in the next. So I'm going to make 2 rows of increase, back loops only, then single in each stitch around. Okay. So it's the same as the arms. Exactly the same, except a little bit thicker, a little bit bigger around. Yeah. Come on, you. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, now I can get back to what I was doing. Okay, sorry guys. When I was younger, I saw Dolly Parton. She gave, I seen Sweethearts of the Rodeo live, had an autographed picture. Can't wait to get to heaven to see the 27s. Wait, go back. Magicians that died at the age of 27. Yeah, and all the artists, like, what was his name? River Phoenix, and the one that played the Joker. Wasn't he 27 too? And Amy Winehouse, I think, was 27. I'm sorry. I got to go back and read a little bit. Terry, you're related to Frank and Jesse James. That's cool. Okay, now this time around, I'm definitely going to use my stitch markers, okay? Because it's so much easier when you do. Yeah, a lot easier. That's my first stitch. So I count from there. 1, 2. What I'm doing is I'm putting 2 stitches in this one. And the next stitch, I'm only putting 1 stitch. And what that does is it makes a bigger circle. I do that every stitch. 2 stitches in this one. 1 stitch in that one. And I know all you crocheting ladies in here know this already. 2 stitches in that one. Wait. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. Theoretically, I should have 3 times 8 is 24 stitches on here when I'm done. 13. 14. 15. When I'm finished with this row and I get around to here. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It's going to work. I got to get back down here. Let's see. Chloe, I am making a robot stuffed toy for my grandson. 22. And I'll show it to you in just a second. Right now, we're working on his leg that I'm going to attach to the main body, which is right here. There's his head. And there's a little window, where maybe words would come across. And then here's a little control panel that's got to be embroidered when I'm done. And then there's going to be 2 little round circles here for knobs. And then he's going to have arms and legs down here and 2 little antennas back here on his head. And then he'll be done. Well, after I embroider, I got to put a little face smile or something on him. I don't know. I don't think robots ought to smile, and I'm not sure they need mouths. So that's going to be a judgment call I make later. But I do have to put some little embroider here, and I got to make this, put a embroidered door panel or doorknob on this. And then, yeah. So, you know what, Chloe? I got this pattern on yarnspirations.com. So if you're interested in making one, you just go over there and search robot pattern. And a few of them come up, but that one to me was the most creative one that I thought I could accomplish. In other words, what I should have said was it looked like the easiest one of the whole bunch. So, okay, here we go. Because I'm not, this is like only the second little plushie toy that I've ever made in the 50 years that I've been crocheting. His name is Pixie the robot on the pattern. Pixie the robot, I believe. Let me look and see. I'll look and see, make sure for you. Because I got the pattern on another window over here on my computer. Yes, Pixie the robot. Pixie sounds a lot like a girl's name to me. But you know, I'm old-fashioned, so I guess anything can be a girl or a boy name nowadays. And that's okay. Live and let live. But I wouldn't name none of my boys Pixie. I'd be afraid they'd be like a boy named Sue and get beat up every day, you know. Pixie. But I am making this one in what I feel like are more masculine industrial colors. So yeah, there's that. Because it's for my grandson, and he's going to be able to name this baby anything he wants to name it, right? In fact, my poor little grandson, he has a speech delay, and so he doesn't talk very well. Now, he has improved tremendously over the last year, but he's still in speech therapy, and he's learning more and more every week that goes by. So I don't even know if he's going to want to give the thing a name or not. He might name it after his sister because he loves his sister. I need to go to bed, but I can't. I'm sorry, Terry. I know you're worried, but you know what? No news is good news. Can you text her before you go to bed and see how she's doing? Or is she sleeping? Or you know what you could do? You could call the nurse's station at the hospital and tell them who you are and tell them who she is and say, I'd like to get a update on her condition. And could you leave her a message and tell her I love her? You know, you could do that when she wakes up. Give her a kiss on the head for me. I don't think nurses will do that. I don't think they go quite that far, but you know what I mean. But you could do that. Y'all, I don't even know if I counted the right amount. I have been, but no answer, so I'd say she's asleep. Okay. Yeah, you can do that. How did Benjamin Franklin feel holding his kite when he discovered electricity? Well, of course he was shocked. I think that kind of goes without saying. That wasn't my favorite joke. You got better ones than that. Come on. Of course, you could pull them out on a different day if you wanted to, Seventh Son. I love your jokes. But anyhow, what else was I was going to tell y'all something and I forgot I lost track, Good God. You know what? If ADHD would have been a diagnosis when I was in school, I would have been like one of Jerry's kids. I would have been the poster child for it. Do y'all know who Jerry's kids are? Am I talking to a younger group? I used to stay up every September. The Jerry Lewis Telethon came on. And he raised a whole bunch of money for, what was it? Muscular dystrophy. Was that what it was, y'all? I think it was muscular dystrophy. And it was a 24-hour telethon. And that was a special day for me because I would sit on my fanny on the couch and watch him raise money for Jerry's kids. That's what he called them, Jerry's kids. And there were some precious little children that would come on there, and he would, have stars do performances and things like that. You watched it too. I used to love that. Let me tell you what I did one time. So I was at my grandma's house laying on her sofa with a big bowl of grapes. Them yummy, sweet green grapes that have a little bit of sour to them. And I ate so many that I got sick. And do you know, it took me about 3 decades before I could eat another grape. I'm serious. I was so sick. I was sick real sick. But I enjoyed that program so much. But yeah, they should have been raising money for us ADHD kids too. Back in the day, kids with ADHD, we didn't get no medicine. We got our butts tore up, They got her up for a little bit and she started to get sick. And she said it took a while to get that under control, but she's doing better. Oh, good. Oh, that's wonderful. See, you feel better now? Did you tell her to leave a message for her when she wakes up? Very good. When does a joke become a dad joke? When the punchline is apparent. A man had problems getting his money back for a broken boomerang he bought. The store said they had a no return policy. Yes, I did, and I kind of do. I hope you feel better because you know what? She'll be all right. She's going to be just fine, Terry. It's hard to sleep in an empty bed, isn't it? When you've been married 100 years. See, I don't have that problem. When Poppy goes out of town, you said what same thing earlier? Oh, that's right. That we didn't get medicine. We got our butts tore up. Back then, ADHD kids were just the problem kids, Do I watch Crochet Vision? Chloe, I've never heard of that. What is that? Is that another YouTuber? See, for me, let me get back to my story. When Poppy goes out of town to work, I change the sheets on my bed. I take a good long bubble bath. And when I was a little girl, my mom, when she'd take the sheets out of the dryer, she would, now don't do this. Don't do this trick at home. I'm not recommending it. But back in the day, people didn't know that talc powder was bad for you. And she would take Smell Good powder and puff it all over the mattress. And then she would put the sheets on the bed. And oh my gosh, it would smell so good in that bed. So that's what I do when Poppy's gone. And I bring my computer in the bed with me. And I watch the computer until I fall asleep. Hey, Retro, how are you doing? It's so good to see you. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Thank you for coming in. If y'all don't mind, go ahead and hit that like button too. I could use some algorithm persuasion. Because I really need some algorithm persuasion. You know, I haven't been real active on my channel over the past couple of years. Yes, and she crochets for her markets. You know what? See, I don't do markets, Chloe. And I really never intend to. What's the name? Crochet Vision. I'll have to go check that one out. Thank you, Jane. I don't want to ever crochet for markets just because I've spent my whole life just making things for people that I care about and giving them away, and that's what I enjoy doing. And I feel like if I made the thing that I love to do into a job, I wouldn't love to do it anymore, and it would become more of a burden than a hobby and something that I use to show people that I care about them. You know, yeah, like you, Terry. Like you, Terry. But that's just something I've always done. And yeah, I don't intend to change it now. Now, I will say that when I worked back in the day, if people wanted me to make baby blankets for them, I would charge them for those because I just felt like that was a lot of work for strangers. But people who knew I crocheted, they would come to me and say, "Oh, my niece is having a baby. Will you make a blanket?" And you know what irritates me to death is when people say, "Well, if I buy the yarn, will you crochet it?" Do they know how much time? Do they know how much time goes into making whatever it is they want to make? I mean, shoot, I've been working on this for a whole, what? Not an entire day, okay? But 2 evenings in a row, maybe for a couple of hours every evening. What did the light bulb say to the switch? You took, oh, Dwayne, goodness gracious. We're going there tonight? Why did the daddy rabbit go to the barber? He had a lot of little hairs. Where do most horses live? In neighborhoods. Y'all, I'm terrible at doing that. But anyhow, yeah, I like those days when Poppy goes out of town for a few days to work. I don't miss him a bit. I eat what I want. I get up when I want. I go to bed when I want. Well, I do that anyway. Who am I kidding? That's why he's asleep now, and I'm up here at 11:29 in the evening crocheting. But he also understands that I have crazy insomnia, and this time of year it usually gets pretty tough. I think in the last week I've slept maybe 3 hours a night. And it wasn't at night. It was like at 6 in the morning till about 9 in the morning. Thank you, Dwayne. I'm kind of happy with it. Now these legs are going to take just a bit longer to make because they're bigger around than the arms were, but not a lot longer. Not a lot longer. Can y'all believe it's December 1st? Sounds like you if you don't take my meds. Well, I have medicine that I take for my insomnia, but though it works and it does help me sleep, I don't like to take it because it puts me out of commission. Like if I took it at 8 o'clock at night, I would go to sleep at 8:20 and I wouldn't wake up again till 10 o'clock next morning. And I don't like to be that incapacitated when I have, look, I know my kids are not babies anymore. You know, my son is about to be 16 and my daughter's 19, but they still need me. And sometimes they need me in the middle of the night. And sometimes they need my adult children. Sometimes they need their mama in the middle of the night. If that phone rings at 1 o'clock in the morning and my son's off work and he just wants to talk to his mama on his drive home, well, I want to be awake to do that, you know. You remind me of my mama, and she is, oh God, Chloe, thank you. That's sweet. That's such a compliment. Oh, do you call her Mama or yeah, Mama? Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mispronounce it. You know, when I was a little girl, I had two grandmas that lived together. One was my grandma. One was my great grandma. I called my grandma. Her name was Meemaw. And it was so cute when I was a kid, you know. And she would not have me call her nothing else. Even when I got older and I talked to her and I said, Meemaw, I'm getting older and it's kind of embarrassing when people find out that I call you Meemaw, because that's kind of a silly name, right? And well, I thought so at the time. I was 12 years old and got embarrassed by everything, right? And she said, no, ma'am. You will call me Meemaw because that's what you named me when you were a little girl, and that's what my name is now. One time I made a mistake and called her by her name, Louise. That did not turn out well for me. Good times. But I called the other grandma, my great grandma, I called her Granny. And when I had my first grandchild, Millie, my little grand Millie, I thought about what I wanted that child to call me. And even though I loved my Meemaw better than Peter loved the Lord, my granny was a real special lady. She was ahead of her time. She was born in 1906. And, you know, she saw her little country town in Indiana go from having horses and buggies in the roads to having cars in the roads. She saw the Wright brothers, you know, do the first flight. I mean, she didn't visit. She saw it, you know, on the news or in the papers and things like that. She was alive when Bonnie and Clyde were shooting up half the Midwest. She was alive during all the wars, and, you know, number one, number two, her brothers were prisoners of war. One was in Japan and one was in Germany. She wrote poetry. She was an art teacher for 30 years and also a Girl Scout leader for 30 years. Let me tell you what this woman could do. She taught me and my brother how to do this. Now, we were never as good as she was, okay? I never will forget one day we're sitting outside on the back porch at my house, and she used to sit with us in the summer times. Or, not, I got that backwards. She sat with us during the school year, and then she'd go home to Indiana to her house in the summertime to, you know, just hang out and be by herself, I guess. But we're sitting back there. Now, she taught us how to make mud pies and fool each other into eating them. She taught us how to grow watermelons, and she taught us how to do all this. So we're sitting on the porch, and there was this little tiny lizard going across a tree. Well, you know, lizards in Florida, they're the chameleons type. They change from kind of a grayish brown color when they're on bark, and then when they get on a piece of grass or in the grass, they turn green, and they can be several shades in between those colors. Well, she saw this lizard on this bark of the tree. She pulled out her pocket knife and threw that pocket knife, and y'all, that poor lizard was stuck to that tree in not near as good a shape as he was before she threw that knife. Okay. And me and my brother thought that's the coolest thing we'd ever seen in our whole life. So for that entire spring, we sat on the back porch and threw pocket knives at the trees because we wanted to stick it in the tree like she did. And she'd come out there and help us, you know, improve our form and all of that nonsense. Hey, I got an idea. What if his legs were not super long like the arms? And what if they were just like smaller legs? This looks too big. This looks a lot too big, y'all. Are you kidding me? Shh. Okay, well, I'm frogging that one. Do you know what frog means? Y'all know what frog means, don't you? See this? Rip it, rip it, rip it. It's going back down to the nubs. They did have incredible knowledge and wisdom, Dwayne. And your grandfathers were born in 1897, 1890. And grandmas were born in 1908 and in 1900. Wow, all lived past 90 years old. I'm sorry. No, it would have been okay, but here's the problem. Okay, when I held it up, the leg was going to take up the whole half and come up the side a little bit. And I don't want that. I didn't want that. I want it to be long and dangly and kind of up here toward the front so it could be like a little shelf sitter and have his legs dangling out in front of him, if that makes sense. So it just didn't fit the vision, and now it's going to have to be done over. But that's okay. I got time. I got all day. You agree with me? Okay. You thought the legs were too fat too? It's because it's a different type of yarn. This is a softer chenille. Remember I told you this one was more like terry cloth. This one's real smooth and velvety. So the diameter of the yarn kind of looks the same when you have them next to each other. See there? The diameter looks just about the same, but this has fluff and this is more sleek and soft. So that's what caused it to be bigger than I wanted it to be. It will look nice in the end. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I am completely okay with that. Sometimes though, look, here's the terrible part. Let's say you're working on a blanket, like a full-size bed blanket, right? And you make a stupid mistake down on row 6 and you're on row 89. What do? What would you do? I know what I would do. See these scissors right here? I would make some fine work out of that yarn, and I would cut that blanket up, and I would cuss the whole time, and I'd say, God, you made the stupidest dang mistake. How could you do that? Sometimes I keep going, Terry, if it's not a super noticeable mistake. But if it is a real noticeable mistake, I do, depending on the mood I'm in, sometimes I'll go back and fix it. 4, 5, 6. Oh, well, the other thing that made it bigger, I completely forgot. I was making 8 crochets in this center ring instead of only 5 like in the arms. See, the arms only had 5. Well, I keep forgetting that my camera's over here on the side of me. These only had 5 in the center ring. 7, 8. I like seeing people work with yarn, fabrics, leather, wood, metal, and pottery. It's fascinating to see what they create. It is. You know, this is a skill that my granny taught me when I was 8 years old, and I never really valued it until I got older. I just thought it was a silly old lady thing, you know. And then when I got older and I realized that crocheting helps to calm me down, and it helps, you know, I told you I have the ADD. It helps to slow my brain down, especially when I'm really concentrating on one project, you know. Yeah, Jane, I think I will too. I do. 1, 2. Oh, let me do my stitch marker. It really, you know how women are notorious for this. You get to thinking about, hang on, get to thinking about 1,001 different things. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And your brain won't shut up. Now, I don't know if that's just an ADD thing or if that's just a lady thing. But I'm telling you, I can come up with 100,000 different scenarios to the same problem in one 5-minute sitting, because that's how fast my brain just. And at night when I try to go to sleep, that's why I have the insomnia. It won't stop talking to me, and I don't have a lot of control over it. And crochet helps me. Crochet helps me tremendously to focus in on one thing and to calm myself down. I have, and I don't think anybody really knows this, but I have anxiety pretty bad sometimes. Right now I don't, and I'm happy for that. But there have been times in my life where I've actually had to be on medication for it, and I was afraid to leave my house, and I was afraid that I will never forget one time. Poppy was in the Navy, and we lived in Virginia, and I had an anxiety attack in the middle of the night, and I had to go out of the house. I used to go for walks when I had anxiety attacks. And I lived in a relatively safe neighborhood, so I wasn't afraid to go on a walk around my neighborhood at 2, 3 in the morning. And 1, 2, no, not 2. Well, I let him sleep. Usually I used to wake him up when I had anxiety, because I would get really scared and I thought I was going to die, you know, which is such an irrational fear for a relatively young, healthy woman. But that one particular morning, it was maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, and I stayed up, and Poppy used to get up at 5 o'clock to leave to go to work at 6. And he got in the shower. I was outside. I saw the light go on in the bathroom. I knew he was up. But y'all, this is no lie. I sat there on my front doorstep, and I couldn't go back in my house. I don't know what came over me, but I just knew that if I crossed that threshold to go back into my house, I was going to die. It was the most crazy, irrational, ding-a-ling thing ever happened to me. But that's when they decided I needed some medication. And I got better. But it flares up every now and then, especially if I'm under a lot of stress. Or sometimes when that insomnia kicks in and I don't get a lot of sleep, it will cause me to have anxiety. Because, I'm tired and I'm not getting what I need. Sleep. I don't eat a lot. It all comes with it. It all comes with it. But so far, it's probably been, I don't know. All right. The last time I had anxiety, Terry, you might remember this. Y'all know I had a heart attack 5 years ago. And I used to go on morning walks by myself every single morning. And I don't do that anymore because I had my heart attack when I was on my walk, and I had to walk back to the house to get my phone to call 911. And I don't want to ever be out on a walk again, stranded. Now, I won't ever leave the house without my phone again. I promise you that. But the point of the matter is, I don't want to be out there in nature having a heart attack again. And the last time I had anxiety, I decided that I was going to take a walk. And I was going to live stream it because if I was live streaming, I would not be alone, right? Well, I walked all the way down to the beach, which is about a 15-minute walk. I walked up and down the beach and I was telling folks, about the beach and what was there and blah, blah, blah. Y'all, on the way back, I tried to hide it as good as I could, but man, here it come. My heart started pounding out of my chest. And I thought I was going to die with all them people watching me on YouTube. And I said, nope, never again. Not going to do that ever again. So I haven't. I have not gone on a walk by myself since that day. I would like to walk by myself again. And not be afraid. But you got to admit when you're whipped, And that particular incident kind of whipped me. And nothing I can do about it. You do remember that, huh? Yeah, that was a day. I was trying so hard, wasn't I? And I don't even know if anybody knew I was having so much anxiety because, once you've had it for a very long time, it kind of gets easy to hide. Yeah, easier to hide. But sometimes you just got to admit defeat. And, Poppy goes on my walks with me now. When he gets home from work in the evenings, that's the first thing we do. We get our tennis shoes on and we take ourselves a 30-minute to an hour walk around the neighborhood. And I enjoy that. I enjoy it a lot. I just don't want to do it by myself. Now, here's a funny. I will go on my electric tricycle by myself. Isn't that crazy? I can't drive because I have double vision. And so Poppy bought me an electric tricycle so I can go to the grocery store or get my hairs done or go get me some ice cream if I want to at the little ice cream shop. There's a coffee shop downtown. And I go to crochet meetings every Thursday at the library. Now, mind you, it's only 2 miles away from here. So I can get on my little tricycle, put all my yarn in the basket, and head on down there, and it's a nice ride. What's not nice if it starts raining on me on the way back. I got to pull over because That rain pelting on me when I'm going about 28 miles an hour on that tricycle, that hurts like crazy. But, oh, fiddlesticks. You know what I think I'm going to do, Jane Doe and Chloe and all? I think I'm going to make little short stubby legs, like not quite this short, but a little bit longer than this. Like a barbecue grill almost. What do you think? Maybe I'll make 3 of them and make him like a tripod. Nah. See, I don't like this either. Y'all, I'm going to have to find another yarn to use because this is too thick. I wanted them to look more like these. More like these. And these are stiff. And these are not. Okay. What if... Okay, hang on 1 second for me, okay, guys? A wheel in the back. A wheel in the back. Chloe says she thinks it sounds good. I'll be right back, y'all. Okay, I'm going to break into my Hobby Lobby stash. Let's see what I can find, okay? Oof. All right, this is the gray that's on here, okay? See that? I don't want gray legs on it. I kind of wanted green. Let's see. Ooh. What about this dark, pretty velvet green? All right, I'm going to lay him down because that's more of an emerald color. Goodness gracious, I need to back my camera up. Do you think that's too abrasive, like the color change, the color difference? What if, okay. I got an idea, y'all. Ooh, wait, what about this? This is I gotta get it in the light good. This is a variegated. It's got yellow, red, green, blue, and no. It's either navy or purple. I'm having a hard time seeing. This lighting in here is not the greatest. I got that, and then I've got, ooh. What about this? That's all different colors. You like this lighter one better, Mona? Like a textured, yeah. See, and this one here, this is more like the green that I was using. I don't think I can use this. Okay. And then I've got, yeah, that's, all the rest of them are kind of dark or super thick. All right. Look, these legs are kicking my behind, aren't they? That's okay. Trial and error. The primary, yeah, I think that's what I'm going with. The primary colors, yeah. That's what I'll do. And maybe I can find some red worsted weight and put red buttons on him. The control knobs, I'll make those out of red worsted. Okay, let me get all this mess off my table before I do anything else. You know what I was thinking? This color right here would make such a pretty sea turtle. What do you think? Can you see these? Good enough. There. It's not the best lighting in the world, but I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. Yep. Now this is a thinner yarn too, and it'll be, hopefully, keep your fingers crossed that it's easier to work with. I do too, Dwayne. Look. How cool would it be just to dump my whole yarn collection on my bed and wallow around in it? Oh, Chloe, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the Ish show. Mona, ain't it an Ish show? Goodness gracious alive. Let's see. Here we go. Y'all, I got a hair in my mouth. Is it from all this chenille or all these cats? I need a rest. I think I'm going to do this for a minute, okay? Nope, wrong one. No. Y'all, I'm not good with technology at all. Why is it saying remove? Okay. How about I do this? There. My mouth is parched and my shoulder's starting to hurt a little bit. So let me give it a break. And maybe I will finish up those legs later on this evening, get it all put together. And next week, when I come back on Monday night, I'll show you all of them all finished. What do you think of that? In fact, I'll show you a little picture right now. Present. Share screen. Okay. Oh, fiddlesticks. I've got to. Is it going to let me go down? Yes, it will. Okay. This is what he looks like. Why didn't it do it? Let's do it. Okay. Share screen. Did I get rid of it? All right, here we go. I can find it again. I'm trying to show y'all what he looks like on the pattern, okay? Not Google Docs. Downloads, ding-a-ling, downloads. I don't need Canva. Cancel. It kind of does. Yeah, it kind of does. Give me 1 minute. Docs. Downloads. Yeehaw. Where's Pixie? There he is. Okay, I'm going to try this again because I tried to share the screen and it kind of crapped the bed on me there. Present. Share screen. Pixie the robot. Okay, that's what happened. Share. There he is. But see, now this is a really small one. See how her hand goes around his like that? This is made with, I think, worsted weight yarn. Let me look and see. And the one I'm using is a super bulky yarn. And I wanted mine to be big, which is why I decided to use the super bulky yarn. Because I wanted my grandson to be able to put his arms around him and sleep with him. Oh, it's made with Wool Ease yarn. I don't know how much trouble I'm going to get in with Yarnspirations. That's the website I got it off of. But I'm going to put 2 red buttons here instead of red and blue. And I think he's adorable, but he's probably a third the size of the one I'm making. And, but I think he's adorable. I can't wait to make the little antennas. Those are going to be so sweet. I like antennas. But anyhow, I mean, I could just imagine my grandson walking around with him like this. All day long, and resting his head on it like this, and then sleeping with him like this. So I love the size of him. That's what I really liked. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. That's so encouraging. It really is. You know, this is only the second plushie I've ever made. The other one was like a stingray, and it was only about this big. And he turned out good, and I gave him to my daughter because, you know, she's the biology science person. And she really enjoyed him. I don't know if she gave him a name or not, but it don't matter. I would like to make another one. I might make another one soon. You know, I was going to make some Christmas ornaments all the way through to Christmas on my channel. And I don't know if I want to do that now or not. You know, when you land on a project that you like, at least for me, I don't know about everybody else, but I get a little bit obsessed with it, and I won't put it down till it's done. And I won't pick up something else till it's done, unless it's a blanket. Y'all, I still have not finished this blanket here. This is a stroller size blanket for my new grandbaby. And it's bigger. It's almost done. But look at that stitch. I love that stitch. It's just a V-stitch and a puff stitch. V-stitch, puff stitch. It's a 1-row repeat, and it is one of the easiest patterns. Chloe, I do have pets. I have 5 cats, 2 dogs, and 8 chickens. Oh, a giraffe would be really nice. I like giraffes too. And then I've got oh, it's almost tangled up here. This is another blanket. Let me do it this way. I don't know if my lighting's going to be good or not, but okay. There, that is called the oyster stitch. Oh, it's puff stitch. Hang on. And then a V-stitch. But the V-stitch has 2 single crochets in between. And the, oh gosh, what is the stitch multiple? I think that the stitch multiple was 5 plus 2. And you start your V. Let me go the other end. Yeah, okay. You start your V-stick in the set 1, 2, 3, 4th chain from the hook. You skip 2, then you puff stitch, and it's only 3. You go in 3 times, pull it up, pull it up. You got 6 on your hook, and you pull it off, okay? You only go in 3 times. And then you skip 2 and do a V-stitch. Don't forget, when you do your V-stitch, 2 chains in between, not just 1. And you just keep doing that till you get to the end. You chain 3, you turn it around, do the same thing over. 1 row repeat. It's the best pattern. And it's pretty and lacy and textured. And I think it's perfect for a little baby. Now, it is possible for baby to get their fingers caught in it. But, you know, If you got a decent mom and dad, that won't happen. I was always way too protective over these last two kids. But the green one, I'm making that in case it's a boy. And it's gonna have it's this like a pine green color. And I have some gold bamboo that I'm gonna put around the edge as a border for a Christmas blanket. And then I got this, where is it? Fiddlesticks. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Hang on, guys. I'll be right back. Oh, that's not in there. Okay. I'll play your little game. Okay. This is Hirschner's Holiday Velvet yarn. And it's a chenille, just like this. But this one has a more of a velvet, crushed velvet feel to it. Okay. So what I'll do with this one, this is going to be a 7-point star blanket. And I'm going to put pom-poms on each point of the star, little white faux fur pom-poms. And then I'm going to make a matching hat and put the white pom-pom at the top of the hat. And because the new grandbaby is due the 19th or 20th of December, and we're hoping that it's here before Christmas. So there's that. We'll see. But I'm on a time crunch now. I am so on a time crunch. You're welcome, Tina. You're welcome. My dog had puppies, so now 9 dogs. Goodness gracious. Well, Chloe, I will say this, and I'm not judging at all. All of my animals are fixed, and I really like it that way because I don't have to deal with puppies and accidental, you know what I'm talking about. Because I just don't want none. I don't want none. But sometimes people do want them, and that's okay. But yeah, 9 dogs. What kind of dogs are they, Chloe? Looks like fishnet we used in the Gulf. The green one or the pink one, Terry? I hope like crazy my blanket don't end up looking like fishnet. Oh my goodness. Well, look. Oh, the green one. Okay. Look. I've been on here for 2 hours and 8 minutes, and I think it is time for me to get off of this stinking computer. And I hate to do it because we have 11 people here. Rights Trapping, how are you doing? Please keep military, veteran, and first responders in your prayers. PTSD is not a joke. No, it's not. Never give up. Never surrender by the grace of God. Thank you, Rights Trapping. Thank you. Anyhow, I'm going to get... Oh, it's okay. I'll be back next Monday night. I'll teach you how to crochet, okay? I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Thank you all so much for being here. I could not drag out this conversation for this long without y'all's help, truly. And come back next time. I will be back Monday somewhere between 9 and 10 o'clock, okay? Take care, and I will see you again real soon, all right?